Okay, I am live. I am live in two places. I am live here on Instagram and I'm live on my Facebook group. So Instagram people, if you're not in my Facebook group yet, go over to wait until you're done watching this video, hop over to my bio. You can click the link and there's the invitation there in my bio to go join my Facebook group. And my Facebook peeps, I think you all follow me on Instagram already, so you're cool. So I am super excited to be here today. Today I'm going to be talking about 3 simple steps, 3 simple ways to feel like yourself again. So if you saw, I did a post yesterday asking whether you feel more often like yourself or feel more often like not like yourself and like you're not even sure who you are. And there were a handful of people who said that that most of the time they feel like themselves and totally assured and confident in who they are, which is amazing. But I can tell you, I know personally all of those people who said that, and they have put in a ton of work to be able to do that. Most people said that they don't feel like themselves. And I just want you to know that you're not alone. If you have ever said that or felt like you don't even know who you are, you're not sure who you are, you don't feel like yourself, you're not alone. Okay, so stick with me and I'm going to tell you how you can feel like yourself. So if you are online with me, hello. Okay. The hard thing with Instagram is that I see usernames and I don't actually know your name, but I see you. Hi, thank you for joining me. And on Facebook over here, I am not, like I said, this is the first time going live on my computer, and I am not sure how to tell if someone is actually on. So if you're on Facebook, hi, and I love you, and I'm glad that you're here. And if you are on, leave a comment and tell me where you're watching from. Where in the world are you? And also, if you have any questions about this topic or any thoughts that you would like me to kind of address, please leave those in the comments as well, and I will do my best to talk about them today. Okay. All right. So, and one other thing actually too, if you know someone who would benefit from hearing from this or who would love to hear about this, please share this with them. My Facebook people, you can invite people into this group. They'll have to just answer the questions for me to add them, but invite people to this group who you think would benefit from all the things that I have to share, because I've got a lot more good stuff coming as well, and this video is going to be really, really helpful for a lot of people. So please invite people who you think would enjoy this information. And on Instagram, I believe you can share this right now as I'm talking, or when I'm done, it will be available for you to share. So just share this video with anyone that needs to hear this. Perfect. All right, so I just want to say, make sure, and this is going to be pretty short and sweet because these steps are seriously so simple. So just make sure that you stick with me, stay through to the end, because I'm going to be sharing some really, really valuable keys of how to feel like yourself again. And this is so important because when you feel like yourself, you are able to move from a place of like just barely getting by, just keeping your head above water, just surviving, just kind of living in survival mode, which you may not realize is totally exhausting and draining, whether you're conscious of it or not. So it takes you from that place to a place of thriving and elevating to the next level and actually growing and improving and making progress. And when you make that shift, you will feel better than you've ever felt in your life. I can guarantee it. And you deserve to feel good. And it takes practice to allow yourself to feel good, and letting yourself feel like yourself is a crucial first step. So make sure you keep listening through to the end. I'm going to keep this nice and short. So just a little bit about me and why I'm so passionate about this topic. Okay, so for my Instagram people who may not know me very well, my name is Megan, and I am a wife and a mother of 2 tiny little girls who are 4 and almost 2. Yeah, she's turning 2 in like a few weeks. That's crazy. But anyway, so I grew up dancing my whole life. I've been a dancer. I've been dancing since I was 3. Dance is my life. That's what I do. And that's what I studied in college as well. And so in college, that was like the peak of my dance life. Like I was dancing for hours and hours on end, like every day dancing. My classes would start at 8 and I would be in rehearsals sometimes until 10 or 11 o'clock at night. And I loved it. I loved it, every second of it. I loved spending hours in the dance building at my school. I loved it. It was just amazing. And I was so excited for graduation because I was like, I had all these dreams of what I was going to do, to launch off my dance career, and become like this professional dancer. And I graduated and my fears just like put this really low ceiling over my head, and I didn't do anything with my dance career for a couple of years. And in that time, I totally and completely lost myself. I lost my sense of self. And this was, I wrote a blog post a few weeks ago kind of talking about this phase of my life where I fell into the deepest pit of depression I've ever been in. It was a really scary, dark place, and it was because I had lost my sense of self. I had lost my sense of significance. I didn't feel like I had any place in the world, and it was scary because I felt totally uprooted. I didn't have any kind of grounding. I just did not know who I was anymore. I didn't know who I was without dance. And I know that this is so common with moms, like they know who they are until they have kids. And I went through that again after I had kids because I went through this really dark period for a couple of years, and then I rediscovered dance again. I had moved after I got married and got on a professional dance company, and I felt like, oh, okay, I'm back. This is me. But the problem with that is that's an external validation, which is not great because external sources, they can be taken away in a second. And so I had it back, and then I had my baby, and I had to take a break from dance for a few weeks. I went back to rehearsals after like 6 weeks, I'm pretty sure, but it still was hard because even then when I was on this dance company, it was still only a few hours a week, whereas when I was feeling like I was in my prime, I had been dancing for hours a day instead of just a few hours a week. So I was still struggling because I had put my my energy of self, my sense of self, into this external thing. And it took a lot of work, and it took a lot of time, and it took a lot of effort and intentionality, but eventually I figured it out. And it's always an ongoing process, always, but that's the point. And it's kind of like when you take cornstarch. This is one of my favorite analogies. When you have cornstarch, you can kind of play with it, and like if you're moving it around and stuff, it'll stay pretty solid. It'll keep its form, right? And you can kind of play with it like a ball. But as soon as you just kind of let go and you stop moving it and it's just stagnant, it just, right? It just kind of melts through your fingers and it just loses all form and all stability. So you've got to keep shaping it. You got to take the time to keep molding it. At first, it might take a little bit of extra time and effort, but then eventually it can just take a little bit of just consistency is all it takes. And that's what I'm here to help you do. I'm here to help you get that first kickstart of spending the energy rediscovering your sense of self. So, what it was for me, and this is not going to be the case for everyone, but what it was for me was becoming a coach. Becoming a coach gave me that sense of purpose that I felt through dance. I didn't realize that this is what dance did for me. Dance gave me this sense of serving. It gave me this sense of sharing a message that's greater than me. It gave me this sense of just lifting up others. And do you see how all of this? So I did this through performing, and then I discovered coaching and discovered, oh, I can have more control over this. I can do this. Like, this is something that's internal that now I can express in another way, which is way better than trying to rely on an external source. So now I'm going to share with you the 3 tips. I promised I would keep this short. So we're going to dive right on into the 3 simple ways that you can, how did I say this? The 3 ways to feel like yourself again. So simple, but you have to actually do them. Okay, so the first simple step to feeling like yourself is to pause. Take time to pause. So most of the people who responded to my post yesterday are moms. And I can almost guarantee that part of the problem, part of the challenge with losing their sense of self is that they're so busy, because we have glorified being busy. And we just tend to, as a society, we tend to wear this like badge of honor. Oh, I'm so busy. I'm just so busy. I don't even have time to breathe. I don't even have time to eat a proper meal. I'm so busy that I just like, I mean, how many times have you said that? I've said that. I've totally been guilty of this. And how many times do you hear your neighbor say that and you feel like, oh, she's busier than I am. I must not have as much value. I must not be as good. Whether you think these things consciously or not, if you have ever felt like you're losing your sense of self, I can almost guarantee you've had a thought like that. And I'm not here to create any sort of comparison or anything. This is something that I have seen a lot in my years of coaching, is this comparison of busyness. So what if instead we see someone, there's a bird outside my window. I probably should keep my blinds closed. I get so distracted by wildlife. We actually have a bunny that frequents our lawn. My daughter has named her Dandelion Eater. Oh, and she's also determined that it's a girl. We have no idea. Anyways, so what if instead of envying how busy other people are, what if instead we see their busyness, we recognize their busyness, and we take that as a cue, as a signal, as a trigger to pause. Now you can take this pause to either mean taking time to meditate, or time to read your favorite scripture verse, or to say a prayer, or just to take 5 deep breaths. Just pause and just be with yourself. Because the huge part of the problem here with not feeling like yourself is the fact that you're not letting yourself be with yourself. Because if you can't even sit with yourself, of course you're going to lose your sense of self. Because you're not willing to actually sit with yourself. You're willing to take the time to sit with your children when they have needs. You're willing to take time to spend quality time with your significant other. You're willing to take time to check on the lives of your loved ones on social media. And those are all good and honorable things to do. But it's time to stop putting yourself on the back burner. It is time to be very intentional and take time every day to pause and just be with yourself. It sounds so simple, but I can promise you, if you do even just this one thing, you will start to rediscover your sense of self. So set a timer, set an alarm every day for a time that you can have at least 5 minutes to yourself to just sit and be with yourself, nothing else, no distractions. And yes, Susan, exactly. You cannot be last in your list. I totally agree. Pause. So that's step number 1 to feeling like yourself again. So step number 2 of 3 is to then move forward and practice mindfulness while you're in action. In my mind, the way I look at mindfulness, and I actually got certified in mindfulness almost a year ago now. So the way that I kind of define mindfulness is it's like an active meditation. So you're folding the laundry, just be mindful of your thoughts, be mindful of the feel of the texture of the towels, be mindful of what the temperature is in your room, be mindful of the noises that are going on around you, be mindful of any smells that are around. Like, just start to tune into your senses, all of your senses, all 6 of them. And stop numbing. So, turn off Netflix while you're folding the laundry for a minute. Listen, that's what gets me through doing laundry sometimes, is turning on The Office, because I don't love doing the laundry, but I have also practiced this a lot. I actually used to not turn on TV for a minute when I was kind of getting into the habit of practicing mindfulness. But now I use that as part of my mindfulness practice. So I'm folding the laundry, I'm cleaning up the living room, I'm cooking dinner, taking care of my family, I'm working, any of these things. Oh, Susan, I'm so happy that you're doing laundry right now. That actually makes me so happy for some reason. That's awesome. So as you're doing these things, stop living on autopilot. And something that I actually did for a while when I was first getting into my mindfulness practice was set regular reminders on my phone. So set an alarm, set reminders that will go off and notify you every hour, every 30 minutes, every 2 hours, every 3 hours, whatever makes sense for you. Set a reminder that will pop up and just remind you to practice mindfulness. And what it means is you don't have to change what you're doing. Don't change what you're doing. You're still, being productive. You're still accomplishing these things. You're still hanging out with your family. Whatever it is that you're doing, just take that moment to heighten your awareness. Just being aware. Be aware of what your breath is like in that moment. Be aware of the fabric of the couch that you're sitting on. Be aware of your body. Be aware if there's any aches and pains, or be aware if you're just feeling really good. And if you are feeling good, let yourself feel good. This is something that I'm reading. So I'm reading Super Attractor by Gabby Bernstein right now. And she talks about how we just don't let ourselves feel good anymore. Like, we start to feel good and then we squash it down a little bit. Like, oh, don't get too hopeful. Like, don't get your hopes up about this thing. Or, oh, don't feel too good because you've also got these other things to worry about. No, if you feel good in this moment, that you're feeling aware, that you're practicing this mindfulness, sit on that feeling. Allow it to expand. Allow it to grow. And then you'll just get better and better at feeling good. So, or if you're in this moment, you get that reminder to practice mindfulness and you just got done yelling at your kids or feeling frustrated, it's okay. There's no judgment here. You just are noticing. That is all mindfulness is. It's just noticing, removing judgment from the equation and just being aware. Because too often we just live on autopilot and we don't have time to notice how we're even feeling. And when you don't notice how you're feeling, then you're ignoring your own self. And that is how we lose our sense of self. That's just one other way that we lose our sense of self, is by living on autopilot and not allowing ourselves to experience our life. So that is number 2. Practice mindfulness. I promise it's easier than it might sound. It really is so simple, but again, so powerful. You have to just be very intentional about it and do it. Okay, last one, third one. And this one is actually my most recent learning out of these 3, and one of the most powerful. Well, okay, they're all equally powerful, let's just be honest, but for me it was kind of the cap, so that's why it feels more powerful probably. But this last one, and it might sound kind of backwards, but just hang with me, okay? The last one is to learn how to be comfortable with discomfort. Get used to being uncomfortable. You guys, we are mere mortals on this imperfect planet, and we are going to experience physical discomfort, aches and pains. We're going to experience mental discomfort through challenging emotions, dilemmas that we're facing. There's going to be lots of things that present some form of discomfort in our lives. Yes, Susan, I totally know you. You know what I'm saying here. You're vibing with me. I love this. And I think what most of us tend to do, especially with all the distractions that we do have today, social media, Netflix, well, those are my main 2, but there's so many others. Like, there's so many, like, emails, watching the news. I mean, there's so many, with just the internet, there are so many ways to distract ourselves anytime we feel any kind of discomfort. And again, that is how we are losing our sense of self. Because when we experience discomfort, so say you just got done yelling at your kids, and I use this example because I get guilty of this as well. You just got done yelling at your kids and you're feeling really bad for yelling at your kids. So you sit on the couch and you pull up Instagram and you start watching your Instagram stories so that you don't have to deal with the discomfort of the thing that you wish you hadn't done, those words that you wish you hadn't said. You're not allowing yourself to just experience that discomfort, which means you're not sitting with yourself, you're not being mindful of it, and you're not going to allow yourself to learn and grow from it. When you are able to experience that discomfort and remove shame, remove judgment, we're just being aware. That's all mindfulness is being aware. Be aware of this discomfort, sit with it. I will literally meditate on discomfort. It's actually a lot more, what's the word I'm looking for? Therapeutic? We'll go with that. That's not quite the word I'm looking for, but it's a lot more therapeutic than you might think. If you're feeling this discomfort, you're feeling frustrated, or you're feeling regret or frustration. Did I say frustration? I think I did. Apparently that's a big one. You're feeling these things, just sit on it. Put your phone down. Go hide in your bathroom if you need to. Go sit on your bed and just sit on it and let yourself feel it. And you will actually find that as you experience it, as you let yourself feel this discomfort, visualize what you were experiencing at that time. Go through the experience in your mind, and just feel it. You will find that those feelings, they start to wane a lot faster than if you just try to shove it away, if you just try to ignore it, if you just try to push it down. If you just try to push it down, those feelings are going to demand to be heard. They're going to demand it. And if you just keep pushing them down, they're just going to keep building and building and building until you can no longer contain it, and then it explodes. And then you do something else that you wish you hadn't done because you didn't listen to those feelings of discomfort, whatever that discomfort was. So, learning how to be comfortable with that discomfort, that is where you are going to create more space for feeling good. That's where you're going to create more space to understand who you are. It's going to create more space for progress and growth. I promise you, it might sound a little backwards if you've never done this before. If you've never tried it before, it's going to sound weird. It's going to sound, you might have resistance for it, and that's okay. That's okay. Let that be the first thing that you experience. Let yourself experience the resistance that you have to what I am saying, and just feel it. So those are the 3 things. I think I might even create a little graphic that I'll share in my Instagram stories and my Facebook friends. I will share it in the comments so that you can have it. I'll make it like a phone background, so you can use it as your wallpaper for your phone if you want, or just keep it in your phone as a reminder to look at every once in a while. I will create just a little thing with these 3 tips. Okay, so let me just recap them again real quick, and then I'll start to wrap this up. So the first simple step to feeling like yourself: pause. Just pause and just be with yourself. Regularly, daily. If you need to start with just 3 times a week, that's fine, but really 5 minutes a day. You can do 5 minutes a day. 2, practice mindfulness while you are in action. So you're going to pause and not take action, and then you're going to get up and take action, and you're going to be practicing mindfulness and set reminders in your phone or whatever it takes. Ask Alexa or your Google Home or whatever to remind you every hour to practice mindfulness. And then the 3rd one is to learn how to be comfortable with discomfort. I promise you, if you do those 3 things regularly, you will begin to feel those feelings of the self again. And I would really love to hear about your journey with this and hear about how it goes for you. So message me, comment, my Facebook people, comment on this post with your experience, how it goes, or just share it in the group. And 2 things that I would just like to share with you real quick to help you enhance this practice, depending on the level of commitment you're ready for. I've got 2 different options for you. The first one you may have seen me post about last week is the Ultimate EFT Tapping Bundle that I created. It was one of those things where it started as this little nugget of an idea, and I knew that I needed to make it happen quick. So I worked and I busted my butt, and after 2 or 3 weeks, it became reality. So it is live, it is available, it's in my Instagram bio, and I will link to it in the description of this post as soon as I'm done with this video. It's only $49. It's 6 tapping videos. It's got scripts, it's got affirmations, it's got wallpapers, it's got a bunch of stuff in there to help you practice all of these things, all of them. And that's only $49, and I also have a 15% off code. I think I decided through next Fridays how long that code will last. So get it soon. And then if you're ready to if you're ready to get serious about this, if you're ready to get serious about feeling like yourself again and learning how to do these things with specificity, with clarity, with focus, and with ease, because I promise it can be easy, then what I want you to do is schedule your free one-on-one coaching call with me so that we can create that clarity, and then we can decide if getting started with my one-on-one coaching program is going to be right for you. I'm in the process of designing my signature one-on-one coaching program right now, and I am so excited to be able to offer it. It should be live this weekend. That is my goal. But let's just get started with that free call. The link to it is in my bio. I will also share that link in the comments. And I know that you're out there. I know that you are ready to be serious about this practice. I know that you're serious about feeling good and feeling like yourself again, and going from a place of just keeping your head above water and moving to a place of walking on water, running on water, and thriving and growing. You're going to be just so happy that you made that choice. And so I hope that I will see you in my calendar soon for our free call. And I know that you can do this. I have all the belief in the world for you. It's far more doable than you have probably previously believed. And I just know you can do it. I know that you can practice these 3 things. They're so simple, and they're going to change your life. They absolutely are. It is absolutely possible that your life is going to just improve starting right now. All you have to do is take that action. That is where the magic is. The magic is in the doing. And I want you to know that I'm cheering for you, and I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day. Again, make sure that you share this with someone who you know needs to hear this, because I'm only one person. I can only get my message so far. I would love your help. So share this, share it with anyone that needs to hear this, share it to your stories, invite people to the Facebook group so that they can come hear this. If you're not in my Facebook group and you want to have access to this video, go to my bio, go request to join that Facebook group, and I'll get you added ASAP. That video will stay there forever. And I hope you have a great Wednesday, and I'll talk to you later. Okay, bye.